Ginger. I am here with a product review. Hopefully my battery is flashing at me. Hopefully I will be able to get through this before my battery dies. Anyway, so I am reviewing this time the Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation Plus Concealer. Hold it here so you can see it. I tested this out for a couple of weeks and here's my recommendations. I tried it with a beauty blender. I tried it just using my fingers to apply it. I tried it with a primer. I tried it without a primer. It says that it has a natural matte finish, and that it's moisturizing. And I think that is code for not for somebody who has possibly oily skin. Even though on the box it says dry combination to combination oily. No. I have combination skin, and I was oily for years and years and years. But as I've gotten older, I've gotten a little more drier. But if something is the slightest bit, if it could possibly bring out any oils in me, it's going to. So, like I said, I tried this with a beauty blender. It goes on beautifully with a beauty blender. Looks airbrushed with a beauty blender. It looks beautiful. This color that I have is 0.05 Breeze. It's the lightest that they have in their line. It was a perfect match though. I've heard some people say that this tends to darken on people. I didn't have that problem, shockingly enough, because usually if something's going to oxidize, it will oxidize on me. But it didn't oxidize on me. It looks beautiful when it goes on, but here's the problems that I had. And like I said, I tried it 2 different ways because I wanted to make sure it wasn't a primer issue. Wanted, to make sure it wasn't an issue because I was using a beauty blender. This says that it's a natural matte, and I don't think it's a matte. Unless natural matte means luminous. This is a luminous foundation. It does not take much of it because it is high pigmentation. High pigmentation. So it does not take much at all. I think this is good for somebody who has dry skin, who wants to have a really luminous, healthy look. I'm somebody who prefers to be a little more matte because I was so oily for so many years that I prefer to be matte. Now the problem that I have, I think it's also that it's actually better for less mature skin. I am 42. I don't have a lot of wrinkles because I know some of you are going to be like, oh my god, I thought you were 27. I appreciate it. A lot of people think that I'm younger than I am. I appreciate it. I know it's all genetic. It's all genetic. And, but I can have a tendency to have small wrinkles under my eyes from like smiling or something like that. And what this did was, when I was putting it on, before I set it, it would already start to crease and settle into those wrinkles and those lines, and also the lines in my forehead too. It would start to settle. So I would have to take the beauty blender and I would have to blot it again just before I set it with powder. And then I would do the same thing under the eyes. I would blot it again just before I would set it. But then as the day went on, I wouldn't have a problem with it settling in the wrinkles in my forehead, but what I had was a problem with it separating. It wouldn't go into the lines under my eyes. The makeup would separate out of the wrinkles into my, it would separate out of the wrinkles. It's weird. I've never seen that before. Anyway, it would still look like it creased, but it was because the makeup actually disappeared out of the lines. So it would be like a dark line instead of just a crease, the makeup creasing. It was like it disappeared out of the lines. So, it looks beautiful if you only wear it for a couple hours. That would happen to me if I wore it all day long. 8 hours, being at work for 8 hours, so I would probably wear it for a total of 9 or 10 hours. And I had that problem. And again, it doesn't really set. Like, my favorite one currently is the Estee Lauder Double Wear. And that is truly a matte foundation. And you also you can't just let it sit on your skin because it will dry. It'll dry down and it won't want to move, so you have to kind of work quickly. With this, with the Clinique one, it never really dries down. Even after you set it, there's still a luminousness to it. And I would use the MAC Prep and Prime translucent powder is what I use. And I set my whole face with that. And it would still feel luminous. I could still feel that the makeup still wanted to kind of be tacky. Also, if I'm going to have oil breakthrough, it's going to be on my forehead and on my nose. And I would have some of that separation on my nose where I would have oil. So no good when you have separation on your nose either. So it's not that I dislike this at all. I'm sure there are other people who can wear it. I don't think it's really for me. Or a person who can tend to be oily. Even though I have combination skin, I can get oily pretty fast, given the right circumstances. And I don't think it's good for somebody who has a little bit of maturity and can have a tendency to have wrinkles. At least that's what I found.